What is up, everybody? It's me, Savini Jason, and I had an awesome fucking cut of this review just an hour ago, but my phone fucked up and it deleted it all. It was almost an hour's worth of ranting and raving about this movie, but we'll never get to see it. It'll never see the light of day because my phone sucks. So, what I'm going to do is run through this as quick as I can because I have some things going on today that I want to get to. Uh, so right away, here we are. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, released in 2009, the follow-up to Zombie smash hit Halloween in 2007. Right away, I can say what I enjoy about this movie is that it picks up exactly where the first one left off. And the fact that we find out that it's immediately after events of part one, where Laurie has shot Myers in the head, left him for dead, and now she's wandering down the fucking road and Brackett shows up, gets the gun out of her hand because she's covered in blood. She's oozing blood. She's got cuts and scrapes every damn where. She's bleeding out of orifices out of her body every damn where. And she's completely screwed, mentally and physically. This girl's went through fucking hell. And she's muttering to herself, I killed him. I killed him. And Brackett's like, sweetie, it's okay. It's okay. Give me the gun. Everything's all right. She gives him the gun, and then she's rushed into ER. She's sent into emergency stat. And she's pretty much just terribly horrified at this point. She's screaming to the nurses, "Am I gonna die? Am I gonna die?" Because she's still a young kid. She's still a teenager. She doesn't know what the fuck just happened to her. She's in anaphylactic shock. She's fucking losing her shit. Goddamn, she went through a fucking nightmare of hell in the first movie, and they sedate her heavily, and they're prepping her for surgery, and the gore effects in this is pretty damn cool. I really enjoyed the attention to detail because you see them extracting her fingernails. They're sewing her up all over her body, her face, her cheek, her every damn where. She looks like fucking Frankenstein by the time the surgery's over. And she just looks like a goddamn monster spit her out because she looks like shit, man. It's horrible. It's crazy, But the ferocity and the brutality of the opening of this movie is something that I don't see how people, when they hate on this, because this movie has a lot of fucking haters. Like, this is the most controversial installment of the Halloween franchise, bar none. It has the most hatred and self-loathed fans ever, and they just loathe the shit out of this movie. They can't stand it. And for me, I enjoy the hell out of it because the opening of this is pretty damn action-packed. You get Myers, Tyler Mane back as Myers. He's brutal as fuck. His ferocity and brutality in this is exceptionally perfect. It's fucking exceptional, perfect for this movie in particular. Even more amped up and crazy as fuck than he was in the first movie. The brutality of the massacre that he lets loose on this hospital in the opening of this movie is fucking awesome. But before I get to that, I want to talk about Laurie a little bit because she's checking on Annie. They got Annie in ICU. She survived, and she's trying to be there for her friend because Laurie feels extreme survivor guilt for everything that happened in the first movie. And I'll touch on that later. But like I said, Myers shows up. He goes ape shit, starts killing nurses left and right. And also, you get a cameo with some little horror alumni in this. You get Caroline Williams as one of the head nurses. Well, maybe not a head nurse, but she was there just for a moment. She was in there just talking to another nurse, joking around, and you don't get much screen time from her. She was also DJ Stretch from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, and she's been in a number of different movies, and she always shows up in the most random fucking situations, the most random movies, because she was in Hatchet 3, she was in Leprechaun 3, but anytime you get to see Caroline Williams on screen, it's great, because she's a pleasure to see on screen. She's beautiful, she's sexy, and she's awesome. So seeing her back on here just for a little bit of time was great. But the thing is about the opening of this movie, after Annie is in ICU and Laura's checked on her, the nurse tells her, Miss Strode, you got to leave. You got to get out of here. We can't have you in here. And she tries to make her way back to her room. And that's when she goes to a nurse's station to get something for her pain. Because, like I said, she's in extreme physical pain. Broken leg, bruised head, wounded head. And she sees the head nurse walking out, and this black actress, I don't remember her name, but she's in a new movie coming out called Ma, and the trailer for that looks fucking great, so that's going to be a good movie. But she looks at Laura, and she's like walking, stumbling, and she has blood dripping from her lip, where Myers has slashed her face, and she lets out this horrible, fucking terrifying scream, and Laurie's like, holy fucking shit, what the fuck happened to you, Hoss? And she turns around to run because she sees Myers standing behind the nurse, and she hobbling away as best she can. And Myers just goes ham on this fucking nurse and brutally murders the shit out of this woman. Stabs her and bludgeons her in the back of the head, in the fucking middle of her back, and her neck, and everything. Just Tyler Mane as Myers is brutal as fucking this. I can't say it enough. And he's like, he's like stabbing the shit out of her, and just leaves the knife in the back of her head, and just, oh god, the fucking brutality and massacre that he lets loose on this place is fucking insane, dude. But you know, you move on from that, and you move on to Laurie hiding in this little security outpost outside in this parking lot, and it's pouring down rain, and she's made her way from the hospital through a fucking body pit that presumably Myers is throwing all the other doctor and nurses in this pit of bodies that Laurie lands in when she's walking outside trying to scale along this fence. And the cinematography in this is really good. It's really cool the way they shoot Myers standing across from the fence, and you see him staring at Laurie. The way they shot it was pretty damn good. I really enjoyed that aspect of this. Something people don't appreciate, they don't bring up when they're talking about this movie. In particular, is the cinematography was really done very well. Even at night, for night shoots in the rain, I really enjoyed that. And it explains perfectly what happened to the other nurses and doctors in this hospital, because as in the first Halloween 2, you always wondered where the fuck was the rest of the staff in this damn movie, because they only had 3 or 4 nurses on hand. And you're like, this is the most poorly run fucking hospital I've ever seen. Well, that explains right there where they are. They're laying there in a fucking pit. She finds her way out of that and gets into this little security outpost. And this guy named Buddy rolls up, and he's like, holy shit, what the fuck are you doing here, girl? And he's trying to take care of her. He's trying to nurture her, you know, and be like, look, sweetie, it's okay. It's all right. I'm going to get you back to the hospital. We got to get you back. You're going to fucking die of pneumonia out here. So she's walking around in a nightgown, hospital gown, in pouring rain. And Myers has now caught up with her. You see this beautiful fucking shot of Myers standing there with an axe in his hand. And the pouring rain's coming down, and you see the fire axe in his hand, and he's just standing there looking. And he starts marching towards the fucking shit. You know, she thinks everything's okay for the moment. And Buddy's like, you know, don't worry, honey. I'm going to go outside, get in my car. I'll be back in 2 seconds. It's okay. Nothing's going to happen to you. And he leaves, he locks the door, and she's just panicking because she knows this impending fucking doom is coming. And he rolls up, pulls up in his car, and he's about to open the door. And when he does, Myers fucking lunges at him with an axe and hits him in the back and just starts hacking away at this guy. And Laura's like, holy fucking shit, and screams and just hides under the table as best she can. And then Myers is walking around looking inside because he's like, you know, Tyler Mane's performance as Myers in this, I can't say enough, is fucking awesome as shit. The way he just turns around and stares into this fucking thing, because he's like, I know you're in there, bitch. I know you're fucking in there. And he's stalking this shit, and she's like, okay, maybe I'm good. Maybe he didn't see me. Sure enough, boom, he fucking hacks away at it and starts hacking away at the walls and breaking his way in, making his way in there. And at this point, Laura Strode is losing her fucking mind because she's like, oh my God, I'm going to fucking die. This son of a bitch is getting in here one way or another. He hacks his way in there and he fucking busts through the wall, kicks down the fucking door and walks in. Right when he's about to go for the kill shot, he fucking... It's hard to get through this. He fucking hits her with a damn axe, and right before it lands on her head, she wakes the fuck up. Boom, it was a dream sequence. That's what people don't like about this. They don't like the fact that it was a dream sequence in the opening of the movie. They hate that. I'm not the biggest fan of dream sequences in movies. In fact, it kind of pisses me off when it happens. But the only thing I can say is that yes, it's a dream sequence. Yes, it kind of sucks because I would have rather it not been a dream, and I didn't want to see Laura die off that soon in the movie, but I would have rather seen the whole movie as a whole take place in the hospital and see what we could have went with that. If they would have done a rethread of Halloween 2 from 81. Not the exact copy, not an exact shot for shot, but just more or less the majority of the movie should have took place in the hospital. And then maybe towards the third act, it could have took place somewhere else. But the majority of the first and second act could have took place in the hospital, and I would have loved that just fine. And I think for the sake of horror fans and Halloween fans, exclusively, they would have liked it better if the majority of this movie would have took place in the hospital. But you had the brutality and the ferocity and the fucking insane, batshit insane side of Myers that we get in the opening of this movie. And that right there is enough bang for your buck. That it ought to be enough to make you shut the fuck up and be like, okay, you know what? I'm going to appreciate for what they did for us any damn way. You get some awesome fucking kills. You get some great gore and violence. You know, like I said, the gore and violence of the opening of this movie, seeing the practical effects, the special effects that they used in this. There was a nurse hanging on this fucking stairwell with her eyes gouged out. You get that awesome kill with Myers stabbing the nurse to death with his butcher knife. I mean, that right there is a selling point. That alone is enough for you to go buy a ticket for this movie. And another point I want to touch on is Annie and Laurie's relationship in this. It's really sad. It's really horrible. Because, like I said, Laurie is suffering from survivor guilt. You know, she really is. I'm starting to lose my voice because I've been doing this too long. I've been trying to record this video for 2 fucking hours. But you see, Laurie is, like I said, you know, she wakes up from a nightmare and it's almost 2 years removed from the events of the first movie. She has now learned that her parents are dead. One of her best friends got killed, Linda, you know, and everything was changed after that night of Halloween. She's now living with Annie and Brackett. Brad Dourif is fucking perfect as Brackett in this. I can't say it good enough how well his performance is done in this. But the strained relationship between Laurie and Annie is really heartbreaking because Annie, in the first Halloween, she was more rambunctious, more your typical teen, more horny ass fucking little sexy vixen that she was in the first one. More promiscuous. And in this one, Annie is a complete different person. She's more maternal, more sympathetic towards Laurie, and she tries to take over the maternal motherly role for Laurie. Really tries to look after her and be a big sister. And you ask me, that's what I got from it. Is that she really tries to be there for Laurie and look up after her. And Laurie starts telling Annie about the dream she had. It was the hospital one again. So apparently she's had this dream more than once. And she's like, I ain't had that one in a while. And she's like, I guess I know what I'll be yakking about in therapy, you know. And Annie's like, one day at a time, babe. And Laurie looks at her and goes, yeah, one day at a time. One fucking day at a fucking time. You know, if I hear that fucking phrase one more fucking time, I mean, my therapist, she just sits there in her fucking leather chair and judges me like she's fucking God. And Annie's like, my God, Laurie, it's her fucking job. That's what she gets paid to do, dumbass. And Laurie looks at her and goes, see, you don't fucking care. And Annie's like, yeah, I don't fucking care, Laurie. I don't understand. Good God, what do you want, my fucking cookie, bitch? And then you see that resentment. She's got this hatred and rage inside of her that she's outlashing at Annie. She's taking it out on Annie. And it's sad to see the strain between them two. And because Annie's trying her best to be there for her, but at the same time, it's like, you know, not enough. And you see Laurie in the therapy sessions. You see how her mental state is declining, just, you know, at a rapid rate, and she's losing it. She's become addicted to prescription medication, substance abuse. She's slowly becoming an alcoholic. You know, she's in to deal with her demons and her mental state, you know, horribly. She has an okay relationship with her therapist at first, but you can tell that this therapist really doesn't know how to reach Laurie at all because she's downward spiraling into this black hellish abyss, you know, at a rapid rate. And it's horrible because the way Scott Taylor Compton performs as Laurie in this and does a damn good portrayal of showing what PTSD and what trauma can do to someone's psyche. She does a damn good job of it. I don't care what anybody says. Like, Scout Taylor Compton delivers a badass performance as Laurie Strode in this, and I really feel for her. You really see how heart-wrenching she is, you know, how terribly sad and broken she truly is as a person, that it's really took her down big time, you know, and no amount of couch time or cognitive therapy is going to help her. You know, this is more than couch time over here. You know, this is more than over-the-counter medication, antidepressants, antipsychotics. None of that shit's going to help her. It's only going to make her worse. It's only going to exacerbate things. And, you know, oh yeah, speaking of the beginning of this movie, I almost forgot. You had that awesome fucking scene where the two paramedics or coroners, whatever they were, driving Myers' body to the next county over to deliver it to the morgue. And you get that fucking crazy ass fucking scene where they run straight into a damn cow and they smash right into the motherfucker because they were too busy talking about fucking corpses and all kind of disgusting shit like that. And something like jelly and jam and just, oh Lord, you know, they're like, hey, what's the difference between jam and jelly? And he's like, I don't know what. You can't jelly a cock up a dead girl's ass. And that's another thing people get this movie shit for is the vulgarity and the profanity that Rob Zombie always puts in his movies. And this is what I got to say to that. You knew what the fuck you were getting into when you walked into this movie. You knew that there was going to be some white trash elements into this. Now, it is toned down very much so as opposed to the first time around, but in the first movie. But in this one, you still got a little bit of white trash here and there and a little bit of vulgarity and disgusting jokes and humor, but it's not on the level of crazy shit like it was in the first one. And just seeing that dude Richard Brake play that paramedic talking to his partner about fucking corpses. He was like, there was a couple of meat packers up in Essex, fucking corpses. I ain't never had the urge till tonight. He's like, whoa, 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 man. If Brackett even hears you talking about that shit, you're out of here on your ass. He's like, oh, whoa, no, I would never do it. I'm just saying. She still look good to me. Little titties hanging out. He's like, well, man, shut up with that shit. You're fucking disgusting. I got wood just ziplocking her up. He's like creeping this dude out. Richard Brake in this is damn good. I loved him as Doomhead in 31. I can't wait to talk about that movie. But him in this, even though we get him in a small capacity, he's still funny as hell. He's the hell of a funny guy. And like I said, they smash right into that fucking cow. And the fucking cow just destroys that fucking van. And the driver has been completely fucked. His head and face is fucking bleeding profusely. And he looks kind of like Earl from Halloween 4 because his neck's ripped open, his face is just completely fucked. And fucking Richard Brake, he's sitting there in his seatbelt in the passenger seat, and he's like, fuck, 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 fuck. And you're like, that's the only word he can get out because he is completely fucked. And he's like yelling for help. But dude, you're out in the middle of the fucking country on a deserted road and you just ran into a fucking cow. You're completely screwed as it gets. You're nowhere near any kind of help. And Myers has now become conscious once again and kicks his way out of the back of the fucking van. And he's like yelling, help, help. And Myers walking slowly around, grabs some shattered glass on the fucking ground, takes the piece and walks up to Brake, and he's like looking at him like, oh God. So at first he thought it was somebody there to help him, but he's like, oh man, I'm fucked. And Myers grabs him by the head and starts sawing his fucking neck off. And the gore that shows him, nice fucking knife going through his neck and shit. Just the tendons and shit getting cut, and he rips his head off, decapitates him, and the gore effects in this are badass. Just, they're fucking awesome. I can't say good enough how they are. I loved it. I love the carnage candy in this and the buckets of blood that we got in this. But moving on from that, and I'm going to speak about the White Horse, and Myers sees visions of his mom throughout this movie, and we get Hobo Myers, who looks like he smells like a hobo's asshole, walking around, just constantly walking into nothing. That part right there is kind of boring when you're seeing Myers just walk through the earth and shit, find his way back to Haddonfield. I don't know what the fuck he was doing, what was up with that, why he was wandering the earth. It's kind of crazy because he's just wandering aimlessly nowhere, and it was cool seeing him walk through there like a walker from The Walking Dead, but at the same time, it's like, what was the point of that? I didn't really see the point of watching Myers walk here and there. If he's not killing somebody and doing shit like that, I don't really give a shit about watching him walk here and there, but that's the only negative I can think of for that, as far as that aspect goes. But the White Horse shit, yeah, it's kind of weird, kind of bizarre. I get what Zombie was going for. He's going for like a psychological kind of deeper meaning, deeper thought into this, but it's kind of stretching, it just didn't need to happen. We didn't need to see that. We didn't need to see Mrs. Myers' ghost talking to Michael. And then you get little Mikey Myers from Rob Zombie's first Halloween, still in the clown costume. Oh, Lord. To see the interaction between Michael and his mom, it's kind of cool, kind of weird, because, like, she's dead as shit, so what was the point of that? I don't know what the hell he was going for when he did that shit, but, that's one thing that pissed fans off the most, but I can see why they get mad about it. But at the same time, it was cool seeing Sherry Moon Zombie in this. It was cool seeing her back as Miss Myers. It was kind of pointless, you know what I'm saying? Um, Also, we have two new friends established in this. You got Maya and Harley, Lori's best friends, and this new co-workers at this Java cafe she's working at. Kind of a low rent discount version of Starbucks, I guess, run by this hippie named Meat. And Harley is like a badass chick. She's sexy as hell and got a nice little body on her. She's funny, kind of the rocker chick of the trio. Maya is kind of Lori in the first film. Maya is not really rambunctious and promiscuous at all. She's kind of quiet and kind of reserved. Kind of reminds you of Lori in the first Halloween. And Lori in this is just got a rocker side to her. And she's got a badass, kind of sexy ass punk rock kind of side to her in this movie. And that's something I really liked about Scout Total Compton in this, that she amped it up not only as the fucked up, demented, mentally disturbed version of Lori we get, but we also get this sassy ass kind of rocker chick version of Lori in this. So her hair's in dreads. She doesn't really give a damn what she looks like anymore. She's just kind of I don't give a fuck attitude. So that right there is appealing as fuck to me. And you see that Lori and Maya and Harley are real good friends. They get along very well. So that right there was pretty cool. I like that. You see how they interact with each other and they get along pretty good. But as far as adding anything to the story, mine and Harley don't add nothing other than a body count. And you see the decline of Lori and Annie. The relationship, like I said, from the beginning of this movie, you see that it's not doing so well and they're not doing good at all. And they end up having a huge fucking fight, a huge argument, and just, it's horrible to see the decline of what they went through in this and how Lori feels survivor guilt because she tells the therapist, that every time I look at Annie, it's a constant reminder, and I can't help but feel like it's my fault. Everything is my fault. And she's like, I just want to go up to her and I want to grab her and just. And she has this weird fucking vivid nightmare. It's almost like a micro nap. She has a weird fucking delusion and shit while she's in the bathroom. And she realizes she's out of pills, she's out of medication. And she starts going into this fucking almost like seizure state and having this weird ass fucking delusion and vivid dreams and shit. Really vivid fucked up dreams of killing Annie. And she's got a scene where Lori in her mind shows that she's little Michael from the first movie, and she's dressed up in a clown costume. She's playing with candy corn. She walks up and tapes Annie down to a chair, just like Michael did Ronnie, and grabs the knife and cuts her throat. And then Annie's like, Lori, what are you doing, Lori? And Lori's losing her shit, man. She's just going insane, and it's really sad to see the decline of her mental state in this. And that's when she rushes, to talk to her therapist because she's losing her fucking shit. But before that, she gets the realization that she is Michael's sister. Because Loomis, to touch on Loomis real quick, he's an asshole in this. He's a prick. He's a fucking dickhead in this. Really liked him more in the first Halloween, but he is funny as fuck. Now, I can say that. The way he talks shit to his publicist or his agent, whoever this chick is that rides with him throughout the entire movie, the back and forth between them two is funny as fuck. I really like how he talks shit to her. He calls her a lesbian at one point, a carpet musher. And, when he's outside the Myers house trying to talk to this news chick and this reporter, and his publicist is like, we did not agree to this backdrop. What is next? Going to go over to the graveyard, dance on the victims' graves? And he's like, you know what? When I want your opinion, I'll beat it out of you. Now go on. Get your ass out of here. Get your ass to the car. Okay, where do you want me? And he's like, funny as fuck because he's a celebutard. He's like drunk with fame and shit. And he made another book off the tragic events of the first movie. And he's made money, blood money, off of everybody's fucking misery. So he's rich and famous now, and that's all he cares about. He don't give a damn about the people anymore. He don't give a fuck about Laurie Strode or anything. All Loomis cares about is money and power in this. And that right there, I can see why fans would hate that, because that is not what the original intent of the Dr. Loomis character was about. In the first Rob Zombie movie, Loomis was all about caring and trying to stop Myers and protect Laurie. In this one, he couldn't care fucking less about anybody's sorrow and anybody's tragic life. All he gives a damn about is himself. So he's a self-absorbed, egotistical bastard. But he's still funny as fuck. So for that right there, I'm going to let him pass. I'm not really going to give him a negative. I'm going to just say he's passable for this movie. Malcolm McDowell, anytime you get him in a movie, you're going to be entertained. For better or for worse, you're going to be entertained like hell from him. Like I said, now, The deaths in this are great. I'll get to that at the end of this, but there is a scene where Lori completely breaks down and goes batshit against her therapist because she has a mental breakdown after going into town and looking at this pet pig at this farm, and there's a Halloween party going on because the dude that owns Rabbit and Red Lounge is dressed like Frankenstein for some reason, and he's talking to these little kids, and she's like, I was looking at this guy dressed like Frankenstein, and he's saying these really perverted things to kids, and I thought it was funny, and there was a pig there, and I thought the pig liked me, and she's just trying to grasp onto anything that can help her maintain her sanity or what's left of it. And seeing her break down into tears like that really hits home for me because I have PTSD. I suffer with bipolar. I suffer with multiple personalities, and I suffer with a lot of shit in my own real life. So I can totally relate to Lori as far as the way she feels about certain things and feeling resentment towards people and the tragic breakdown of her mental state in this. It's really sad, but I can totally relate to her 100% because I've had therapists in my life. I've had many therapists. I've got one right now, but I haven't seen him in a while. But I need to see that motherfucker soon. And I can see why Lori broke down and went apeshit on this fucking therapist because a lot of times, 9 times out of 10, the people that they get to talk to you for trauma and shit, they don't really give a damn about you. They don't. They don't give a fuck. They're concerned for $100 fucking bucks an hour. Yeah, that's about right. They do give a damn if you pay them money. And the therapist is trying to tell her, look, you should have a shitload of medication from everything I wrote for you, every prescription. And she's like, I'm out. I have nothing. I've got nothing left. And she's like, oh, fuck, Lord. Look, I'm going to give you this little small dosage to help tide you over and get rid of some of these visions and sights. And she's like, what the fuck? No, I need my prescription. I need something good. I don't need this bullshit. And she's like, you know what? Fuck this. Fuck you. I'm so fucking sick of this. I'm so fucking sick of you. I'm so sorry, Lori. How are you today? Fuck this bullshit, alright? And the woman's like, this is not bullshit. You need professional fucking help because I'm really worried about you right now. And she's like, you know what? I'd be fucking concerned about you at $100 a fucking hour, bitch. You're more fucked up than I am, you crazy bitch. And then walks out like a boss. And just goes the fuck off and leaves. And after that is when she finds out, I don't know if it's immediately after, but at some point during this movie, she finds out she is Michael Myers' sister. And it's the most horrible fucking way to find out because Loomis has told a secret that Brackett made him promise not to ever tell. And the bastard put it in the book. And talk about a shitty dick move, man. Lori goes into town and buys the book, and she finds out that she is, in fact, Myers' sister. Now, that is something that we don't get in the original Halloween 2. That's something that I think fans that hate this movie should appreciate, is that in the original Halloween 2, we didn't get that realization. We didn't get that revelation scene where Loomis tells Lori, yes, you are, in fact, Myers' sister, and you were adopted, a couple years after he was contained into the Smiths Grove Sanitarium. But we didn't get that in the original Halloween 2. We got that in this. We didn't get Loomis telling her that, but we get that realization moment of her finding out, the devastating moment of her breaking down into tears in her car because now she realized that she's related to a fucking psychopath. And, you didn't get that in the original run of films, and that sucks, but in this one you did. So I would think that you would at least consider that as a win because I did. I really thought that was cool that we got to see the breakdown and continued downward spiral of her psyche in this after she finds out that Myers is in fact her brother. And that was fucking cool. That was a great scene the way they executed that. And that's when she rushes home and tells Annie, she's like, please tell me you didn't fucking know. Please tell me you didn't fucking know this. Oh, no way. Daddy's princess knows all, right? And Annie's kind of clueless because Annie doesn't have a fucking clue what's going on. She has no idea. Not Loomis, but Brackett never told Annie the truth. He never told her that Myers is her brother because apparently he didn't trust her to not tell Lori. And you can't blame the guy. He was going to take the secret to his grave as he thought Loomis would do. But Annie's kind of clueless. She has no idea what the fuck's going on. The last thing she's seen was her and Annie got into it. Her and Lori got into a huge fucking argument at their house. But she's losing her shit, when she's packing her shit, and she's going to go stay at Maya and Harley's house. And it's sad. It's really sad to see that their friendship is over now because she's like, you know what? Tell your dad Angel says, fuck you. And she's like, who the fuck is Angel? And like I said, Danielle Harris in this is great because she's more maternal in this. She's more caring and devoted towards Lori, but she still at the same time doesn't know exactly how to deal with this side of Lori. And she's not impressed with this bad girl, bad bitch attitude persona that Lori's took on in this movie, but she's still trying to be there for her regardless of what Lori puts her through. And she takes off and leaves and drives down the road speeding, fuck you, asshole! It's just funny as hell, this bad girl side of her is so fucking sexy. And she goes and stays the night at Harley and Maya's place and tries to tell them what's going on, And she's like, dude, I just found out some really fucked up shit and it's really freaking me the fuck out. And they're like, what is it? What's going on? She's like, I'm not me. And they're like, what do you mean you're not me? Well, then who are you? And she's like, I'm Angela Myers, Michael Myers' sister. And they're like, oh, get the fuck out of here, man. I don't want to hear that bullshit. Even I wouldn't touch that fucking joke. She's like, I'm not fucking joking. Or you don't fucking believe me? Fucking look at this shit. Look at the book. And they look at the book and they're like, holy shit, dude, this is fucking insane. And the third act of this movie is great because Loomis has a redemption moment. Myers has already massacred everybody at the Rabbit and Red Lounge. He killed that stripper. He killed the fucking guy, Lou, that was the manager of the strip club, dressed like Frankenstein after he was about to fuck this hot ass stripper on his desk. And it's funny as hell because he's like, all right, girl, you want to be my bride of Frankenstein? He's smacking her ass and he's like, I'm going to give you my Jolly Green Giant. And Myers shows up in the club after he's already killed the bouncer, played by Jeff Daniel Phillips. He stumps the shit out of him. He curb stumps that motherfucker's face in outside. After he choke slams him, he just stumps the fuck out of his face. And that was some cool shit. Like I said, the gore and violence in this, top fucking notch. And he walks into the club and he sees that Lou is about to fuck the shit out of this stripper. And he's like, before he goes doggy style on the bitch, he sees Myers standing there in the mask. And he's like, who the fuck are you, motherfucker? Get the fuck out of here. He's like, I've been the fucking nom. I'll take you out. I'll take you out, motherfucker. And Myers grabs him and just throws his ass into the fucking hallway and starts beating the living shit out of him. He's broke his fucking arm. He broke his damn jaw. Myers has went apeshit and beat this dude's ass. And meanwhile, the stripper's trying to get the fuck out of there as best she can and run away after standing there like a dumb bitch and staring at Myers beating the living fuck out of her pimp daddy. And he catches up with a stripper and bashes her face into his fucking mirror repeatedly 4 or 5 fucking times. And her face is filled with glass. And she finally rips part of Myers' mask off and throws it down. Now the mask. That's another thing I want to bring up real quick. Is that the mask for this one is pretty damn good. I didn't mind it at all. I thought it was pretty fucking great. It shows what really happens to latex after, he's worn this mask for years. And it's really what happened to a latex mask. And even though he cuts part of it off, it's still great because it shows Tyler Maine's face, a side of it, and the fucking rage in his eyes. It's just really great. The attention to detail in the mask and the suit in this was really done very well. But like I said, after the massacre at the fucking lounge has happened, you get to see a softer side of Myers because he walks up on this little kid in a clown costume on the sidewalk and he pretty much tells well, no, he don't tell anything. That's right, he don't speak until the end of the movie. But this little kid looks at Michael and he looks up and he's in civilian attire. He's still got his hoodie on. It's Hobo Myers for the moment. And little kid's like, hi, would you want to be friends? It's so cute. It's so innocent, this little boy. And Myers, I guess, in his mind, it reminded him of himself because he's dressed like a little clown. So there is a shred of humanity to Michael Myers throughout the franchise. There's little bits and moments here and there where Myers is not completely sadistically evil. And his mom or his sister, whoever's like, come on, let's get out of here, and walks away. And Myers doesn't harm the child. He doesn't lay a finger on him because there is a little bit of humanity to Michael Myers. Maybe not a lot, but just a little bit, because if he wanted to, he could have killed the shit out of that little boy, but he didn't. Because there is a little bit of shred of humanity left in Michael Myers' black heart. But like I said, he's already massacred them once at the strip club, and Lori and Harley and Maya is getting shit-faced drunk at this fucking party, this Halloween party that's hosted by Captain Clegg and the Night Creatures. And Jeff Daniel Phillips plays 2 different roles in this. He played the bouncer, and then he plays this other guy hosting this Halloween party. And they're getting shit-faced drunk. Well, at least Lori is. Maya's kind of the DD. She's the designated driver of the trio. And Harley is dressed like fucking the dude from Rocky Horror Picture Show, and she's a chick pretending to be a dude pretending to be a chick, and she hooks up with this dude in a Wolfman costume. It's funny as fuck, man. It's just the dude has got no game at all. He's trying to hit on her and trying his best shit, but it's like she's like, this shit ain't working. They go to fucking this shaggin' wagon, this fucking van, and Myers shows up after dude's trying to take a piss and kills the fuck out of him, chokes the fucking living shit out of Harley, kills her ass, and meanwhile Maya and Lori is at this party, and Lori is taking shot after shot of whatever she could find, not even giving a damn anymore. She doesn't give a fuck about her life. She just says, fuck her life. Whatever happens, happens. And she starts having one of them fucking delusions and weird-ass nightmares again and micronaps and shit, and sees a vision of Mrs. Myers standing there with little Michael. And Michael Myers shows up and grabs her around the fucking around her arms and shit and tries to take away with her, but she starts screaming hysterically in the middle of this party. And nobody gives a damn because they're all fucked up and drunk. So they all assume it's just part of the show. And Maya's like, hold on, whoa, calm down. Let's get out of here, you know. And Lori's, first she's freaking the fuck out in there. And then when she walks out, she's like, no, come on. I want to go back. Let's go back to the party. And she's like, no, you've had enough. And they go back to Brackett's house. But before they get there, Myers had showed up at the Brackett house. And Brackett had posted a cop outside for protection of Annie because he knew something was going to happen. Just in case something happened on this night, he wanted to make sure that his baby was all right. Because apparently for the last 2 or 3 years, he's been doing this. You know, just for protection's sake. Just in case this big bastard showed up, he wanted protection for Annie. And the father-daughter bond between Annie and Brackett is really beautiful. It's really cool. And Myers shows up, kills that fucking cop, no damn problem. Kills his ass quick, you know, and then Annie is in her bedroom trying to get ready for bed, and you see Myers standing there in the shadows of the background watching her as she's in the bathroom, and for a slight moment she feels the presence of someone watching her, and she looks up and Myers is standing there staring at her, and she's like, oh my god. She takes the fuck off, and in slow motion fashion you see her running from Michael Myers, and it doesn't actually show what happens, what transpires, but in the aftermath you see what happened. Myers apparently beat the living fuck out of her and stabbed her numerous times. And it's very reminiscent of Halloween 4 and 5 because she looks just like Jamie Lloyd with her hair down like it is in this scene. And seeing her back on screen with Michael Myers once again, it's almost like a throwback to Halloween 4 and 5. And it's as close as we get to Jamie Lloyd from Halloween 4 and 5, you know, in this scene. And Laurie and Maya show up. And they're there to like try to come down from this drunk state that Laura's in. She's like, you know what, world, guess what? I'm Michael Myers' sister. I'm so fucked, dude. The fuck am I gonna do, dude? And then Maya tells her, take it one day at a time. One day at a time. One fucking day at a time. And they go inside, and that's when they realize shit is not what it seems. They go upstairs, and they see the furniture and everything is fucked up. This whole house has been turned upside fucking down. And chaos is just took place at this place, and they're trying to find Annie. They're yelling for her, and finally they open the bathroom door, and there she is, laying there naked and covered in blood, and just cut up the fucking hell. Annie is so fucked at this point, you know. It's just terrible. It's horrible, and you see how hard it hits Laurie, because even though earlier in the movie Laurie did go off on her, and they were cussing each other around, they were fighting like sisters normally do, and she was taking her shit out on her, but still at this point right here, Laurie, you know, you see how much she really cares for Annie. You see how much she loves her, how much their friendship means to one another. They really are like sisters. And it breaks Laurie's heart to see Annie dying and laying there in a puddle of her own blood, and she's trying to hold on to her, man. And she's like, come on, baby, stay with me, Annie, don't go. It makes me cry. It really does. It brings a tear to your eye. If that shit don't make you cry, then you are fucking heartless, because seeing how broken and how heartbroken Laurie is to find Annie in this horrible fucking state, it's really heart-wrenching, man. It'll make anybody cry. So, you know, and the way that she portrays that remorse for Annie and the shock that she has of seeing Annie near death is just, it's heartbreaking. I can't find a better way to say that. But, you know, Annie dies in her arms. And it's sad as shit. It really is, man. It's truly heartbreaking, heart-wrenching. But like I said, the third act of this movie is where it pays off because she tries to help Annie, but Myers shows up once again, or he was probably still there the whole time. He kills the fuck out of Maya, slams her, choke slams her ass on the coffee table, and stabs her in the fucking chest. Or I can't remember where he killed her at, but he kills the shit out of her. And he chases Lori outside of the house. Lori takes off through the woods, and Myers is now in pursuit of her once again. And she falls into the middle of the road, and this dude, played by Sean Whalen, actually, the guy that played Roach in People Under Stairs, picks Lori up, puts him in his car, and they're trying to get away to safety, but at this point, it's a little too late, because Myers shows up, picks up the fucking car, and flips it over a fucking hill. Just, it shows how strong and how brutally fucking massively strong this dude is, Tyler Mane, who plays Myers in this, and he picks up that car with ease and just flips it the fuck over. And, fucking dude that was driving it, he kills the hell out of him and then flips the car over and takes Lori's body out of this burning car and carries her away to the shack in the woods. And this is where Loomis has his redemption moment, all right? Because now Myers has got her in the shack, and he's standing alongside his ghost version of his mom, and little Michael Myers is standing there in a clown costume, and Lori's trapped inside the shack with Michael Myers. Oh, Lord. So at this point, Brackett has went to the house. He has discovered Maya's dead body. He has discovered Annie's. Well, at first he sees Maya's body and shit, but then he walks upstairs, and sheriff deputies are like, Sheriff, don't go in there, man. You don't want to see this shit. And he's like, where is she? And he wants to see his daughter. Whether or not it's for the better or the worse, he wants to see her. And they open the door, and, he opens the door, and he sees her laying there in a puddle of her own blood. And the fucking emotional breakdown that we get, the performance we get from Brackett, from Brad Dourif in this scene is fucking amazing. It's Oscar fucking worthy. How he didn't get a nomination for a damn Oscar, it fathers me to this day. It's unbelievable because he gives the performance of his fucking life in this damn scene. To see how he breaks down emotionally and just loses his shit at the sight of his daughter's death. It's something that no man should ever go through. You should never have to bury your own child. You should never have to see your own child laying there in a bloody state like that. It's just, man, and he loses his shit, and screams, no, he's losing his fucking shit. And then you get this flashback of Annie when she was younger, and it's younger footage of Danielle Harris, probably from Halloween 4 and 5, but you see how he remembers her as a young girl, and his baby girl, just found his baby girl dead, and it's just, man, the performance that Brackett, that he gives right there, that Brad Dourif gives, is fucking amazing. It's really cool. It's really awesome. I really enjoyed it. It makes me cry like a baby every time I see it, and if somebody doesn't cry at that, then you're fucking heartless. I don't see what the fuck is not to love about it. And like I said, the deputies tell him that we just got word that there was a large man carrying a girl away into a shack on the outskirts of the road, and do you want me to go check it out? And Brackett's like, nah, I'm going to take care of this shit once and for all. And they go and show up at the scene, and they got cops there, and they're trying to negotiate with Michael Myers, which is ridiculous because you can't negotiate with Michael Myers. He's a fucking mute. He doesn't talk. Loomis is back at his hotel watching the fucking replay of him being on the talk show with Chris Hardwick and getting burned and roasted on there by Weird Al Yankovic. He finally sees a news bulletin that Michael Myers has Lori in a shack. And he's like, oh my God. He can't believe Myers is actually still alive because he stated early in the movie at some college that he was giving a lecture to these students that Michael Myers is fucking dead. Now, do you brain dead got some mongoose want me to spell this out for you? D-E-A-D. And he's like, oh, shit, man. And he rushes to the scene where the police are and Brackett is. And as soon as Brackett sees him, he's like, you son of a bitch. He just decks him. Drops Loomis down on the fucking ground. And he's like, you selfish, you greedy son of a bitch. You don't deserve to live. You don't fucking deserve to live. And he wants to shoot him so fucking bad because he's really to blame for all this shit, for all the events in this movie. Maybe not all of them, for a majority of the events in this movie, Dr. Loomis is to blame for this, for his greedy fucking bullshit book that he wrote. You can almost say he is the one to set this shit in motion. the catalyst, if you will. And Brackett's like, get the fuck out of here. There's nothing that you have to say that I want to hear. And Dr. Loomis is like, please, Sheriff, you're not going to get anywhere with this. Michael's not going to reply to negotiations. He's not going to fucking go for this. You can't negotiate with Michael Myers. You know, you can't reason with the motherfucker. He's not going to respond to this shit. And Sheriff's like, get him the fuck out of here. I don't give a damn what he's got to say. Get him the fuck out of here. And finally he leaves, or he's presumably going to leave. But then he takes off, and right in the middle of the fucking scene, he jumps right over to the shack where Myers has Laurie. And Brackett's like, what are you doing? Get him the fuck out of here. He's like, Sheriff, I owe you this. I owe you this, Sheriff. Let me do this, please. He goes into the shack, and as soon as he enters it, from Loomis's perspective, it's just Michael Myers standing there with Laurie Strode on the floor with her hands behind her back. Now, in Laurie's mind, Myers is standing there, and Mrs. Myers is standing there, and also little Michael Myers is holding Laurie down. He's holding her hands down. Mrs. Myers is standing beside Michael, the full-grown Michael, and she's like, standing there with him. And Loomis, from his perspective, just sees Laurie standing there or sitting there on the floor being held down by nothing. And he's like, Laurie, what are you doing? We got to get out of here. You know, he's like, Michael, don't hurt her. But please don't hurt her. You know, you need to stop. You know, this needs to stop. And he's like, Laurie, let's go. Let's get the fuck out of here. And she's like, no, I can't. He's holding me down. He's holding me down. I can't move. And he's like, Loomis is like, Laurie, there is nothing holding you down. It's all in your mind, Laurie. It's in your mind. There's nothing, no one holding you down. And he's like, you know, Mrs. Myers was all in Laurie's head at this point. You know, she had done lost her shit. There's no rational thought in this girl's mind anymore. You know, when before Loomis even showed up, she was telling Laurie, you know, tell me, I love you, Mommy. Say it, I love you, Mommy. She's like, I love you, Mommy. And just got her so fucking brainwashed and so fucking deranged that Laurie doesn't even know right from wrong anymore. And Loomis is trying to convince her, it's all in your fucking mind. Get the fuck out of here. And then at the same time, while he's trying to talk rational thought into Laurie and trying to talk some sense into her, Mrs. Myers is talking to Michael, and she's like, it's time, Michael. Take us home. Come on, it's time. And by that time, Myers, you know, looks at Dr. Loomis, and Loomis is like, Laurie, it's all in your fucking mind. Let's go. And then it cuts to the outside where Brackett and everybody else is watching from the outside. And all of a sudden, boom, Loomis and fucking Myers bursts through the fucking wall of this damn place. And they're fighting, struggling on the ground. And then he picks Loomis up, and Loomis is like, Michael, we're going to hell. And then one fucking scene that is so, I will say this is stupid. You know, it's cheesy, it's kind of corny, it's cringeworthy. Michael looks at Loomis and goes, he pulls the knife out and goes, die! And he stabs him in the fucking stomach. And it's just like, really? Did we have to have him say it? Did we have to have Michael say die at the end of this? Like, I don't think so. There's a lot of shit he could have said, but like, I would have rather not seen him speak at all. You know, he spoke as a child in the first movie, but we didn't need to see Michael say die at the end of this. So that right there is kind of a negative for me. I didn't really care for that. And he drops Loomis because the cops start shooting his ass, and they unload all their fucking artillery on him and just shoot the fuck out of him. And he's fucking flailing back and forth, and then he falls down, presumably dead. And at this point, they think it's all over until Laurie comes walking out with the knife. And, well, no, at first she doesn't have the knife. That's right. She comes walking out, and she sees Loomis's body laid out. And Myers has been dropped too. She goes and grabs the knife, picks it up, and it looks like she's about to finish off Dr. Loomis. You know, now in the theatrical cut, I think, or it might have been director's cut, one of those versions, she has the Myers mask on. And she walks up, and right above Loomis, it looks like she's about to finish him off and stab him, because probably Mrs. Myers was telling her to do it. And one of the cops got trigger happy and decided to shoot Laurie. And she falls dead after 2 or 3 shots. And it's like, oh man. You know, Brackett's hard. Hold your fire! Hold your fire! And it's sad as fuck. Because on the DVD commentary of this, Rob Zombie said that it's been a controversy ever since the movie came out. That in the final moments of this movie, they walk in, they're closing in on the dead bodies. Laurie and Loomis and Michael, they're all three done. They're finished, you know. And you see this extended shot, tracking shot of Laurie at the end of this hallway, this white hospital room. And she's got the hospital gown on, and she's officially deranged, officially insane. She's in a criminally insane Smithsgrove's Haddonfield Hospital. And she's got this weird, deranged smile on her face. And she sees Mrs. Myers coming towards her with the horse, the white horse, because Michael loved white horses, and apparently Laura does too. So she's coming towards her, and what that was the final moments of Laurie's life flashing before her eyes. It's the last thing she sees before she dies. Laurie did die at the end of H2. And she's not really in a hospital. That's all in her mind. That's all inside her head. That's the last thing that flashes through her head before she dies. And it's the end of a sad, tragic life. And I really feel for Laurie. I really do. It's so sad. But, yeah, that is the ending of Halloween 2. Is that it's the last moments that she sees in her mind before she officially dies. And this has been my review of Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. If I left anything out, let me know below and we'll talk about it, because I only had a certain amount of time and I didn't expect it to go on this long, but I had to get everything out that I wanted to talk about. And like I said, the brutality and the kills were great. The vulgarity and the profanity, it's toned down a bit, but it's still there a little bit, but it's not as bad as the first movie. And this one for me is better than Halloween 3. It's better than Halloween Resurrection. It's better than H2O. And I will fucking defend that to the day I die. So, you know, I was really excited to do this one because I myself and Cody Leach and Lee McCoy from Drum Dums, we three are the minority of the Halloween fans. We actually enjoy the fuck out of this movie. So this one right here was for Cody Leach and Drum Dums. I hope they enjoyed it. You know, I'm sorry this dragged on and on, but hey, I had to do it my own way and get out as much as I could about this movie. So anyways, this movie was awesome. It's great. I still enjoy it every time I watch it, and the soundtrack was awesome. There was going to be an H3, but Rob Zombie declined to do it, so maybe it's a good thing, because the script for H3 would have been kind of stupid. I've seen the 3D script they had for it, and it didn't really sound that good. Not as good as this one, so I've almost lost my voice trying to do this shit, because I literally recorded this 3 fucking times before I finally got this final cut. So before it cuts off, it's been me, Savini Jason, and this was my review of Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Like, share, subscribe, and all that good shit, and I will see you later.